Hey, Tony here, Rain Adventures 2.0. What are we doing and where are we at? Well, what are we doing? Well, we are at a location that I am very excited to share with you. Now, we were in South Dakota on the last episode. If you haven't seen that one, go back and check it out, because then you'll know how we ended it, right? So I ended it like, hey, I've got a couple more hours to drive and we're driving back west again. Well, I drove a couple hours to get to this location. And where's this location? Well, it is Devil's Tower. So we're at Devil's Tower National Park, and right there is Devil's Tower. Let me show it to you real quick. Look at that. So that is Devil's Tower. Now, I have something really special today planned. It all worked out, and I've already been in contact with them, and I am going to introduce you to somebody who has climbed that more than 2,000 times. He's ascended. He's been to the top over 2,000 times, starting in 1974. And you're going to meet him. So I've got a plan to meet up with him a little bit later today, but beforehand, I said I would come over here because he's got something he's doing this morning, and I figured I'd bring you over here, and we're going to do a 1.5-mile loop around the base of Devil's Tower. So we're going to get a close-up look at it. So, well, what are we standing around for? Let's get going. All right. Well, the sun's peeking through right now, so it's supposed to rain today. So we're going to try to get this loop in and get a closer look at it. All right, come on. So you can see a little relief right here. There's got a little table. It's all built up. And right there's Devil's Tower. So Devil's Tower is 867 feet tall. So they've got a little placard here. The Washington Monument, and you can see it right next to it there, is 555 feet. So there are two trails. One's a Red Beds Trail, which is a 2.8-mile loop. And then the Tower Trail, which is a 1.6-mile loop. We're going to do the 1.6 mile. That'll take us right around the base. Alrighty, here we go. So I was going to do my intro. I was going to make some mashed potatoes and start mounding them up. And I was going to start doing like a dun, 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 doing all kinds of tunes. If you remember, this is a very popular tower for Close Encounters of the Third Kind. If you haven't seen the movie, you got to check it out. It's a great movie. But the only way to the top is to climb it. But in the movie, they actually, it shows them at the top already, like they climb up a little bit, the rocks at the base, and then all of a sudden they're at the top. That doesn't happen like that. I believe there's 250 climbing routes, but you need to climb it with rope. Yeah, we'll talk to Frank about that more. He's the expert in it. Yeah, look at that. We're starting to see more of the base. We're going to get closer and closer. Yeah, it is very cloudy today, but we're hopefully getting a little bit more breaks in the cloud as we continue to go around the base. Yeah, along the trail, there's a lot of these storyboards that explain different things. So you'll see up here, there's a lot of these rags or cloths or strips of material tied to the branches of the trees, and that's called Prayers in the Wind. So Devil's Tower's National Monument is known to many as Bear Lodge. It's a sacred place for over 20 American tribes. Yeah, you can see the rocks have all the lycanthropin on it. So we've been talking about that because we've been seeing that across different places growing on rocks. We saw it in the last episode and other episodes as well. So that lycanthropin is something that grows on the rocks, and you'll see that here at Devil's Tower as well. So you can see we are ascending to the base. Way down there is the parking lot. And so far it's been a fairly easy walk, mainly because of this path. You know, if we had to scramble over these boulders, that'd be a whole different story. So if you're going to climb above the boulder line, which is that line right there, you'll need to register. But if you bouldered around or climbed on these boulders down here, you don't need to register. But if you climb above that line right there, and then you need to register, because now you're getting onto Devil's Tower. Yeah, so they've got a nice little path here going in amongst the rocks. It's a nice smooth walk. I would say this is definitely handicap accessible. Yeah. Yeah, look at the pine. Oh man, I love pines, and we're walking right in amongst the pines. You can see some charred logs. Looks like possibly from fire at different times along the trail. And some aspens. Just different plant life that's in here. Really nice. Yeah, you can see there's the burnt remnants of some logs there. I don't know if that's a controlled burn or what. Lightning strike, not really sure. Yeah, so here's a sign, revegetation area, so not to walk on. So that's this whole area, and that's where some of those burnt remnants are. So possibly it was a fire that came through here. Yeah, and they're trying to get it to come back. And don't want you to walk on it. Well, you should only stay on the paths anyhow, right? Yeah, as we're walking around it, you can see just a different look as we make our way around the trail. All right, so let's keep going. Whew. All right, guys, I made it to the top. No, I'm just kidding. So this is a viewpoint from the trail, so you can see that river right down here. So that would be, the river level, and from there it was over 1,200 feet to the top of Devil's Tower. But from where we're standing, so I'm gonna swing you around here, it's about, what did it say, 875 feet to the top. Yeah. So this walking trail gets you a little closer to the top, but we're not at the top. But it would look a lot higher than this if we were at the top. Yeah. I know Frank's got a lot of pictures from the top. He's been up it over 2,000 times. Man, I can't wait to talk to Frank. Alrighty. Yeah, so we're just making our way around the base of it here, and you get these really good views through the pines. Yeah, right here you can see way down here, that's the gate that we came in, right down in this area. So you just come that road, and it swings you all around to the backside, opposite side of the tower, and that's where the visitor center is. But yeah, so we got some up and downs. They're not bad. Just take your time. But it's a good thing this path is here. So you can see here we get really, really close. So there's a lot of lycotropin right on the sides. That's all the green. But look how close we are to the base of Devil's Tower here. Yeah, now we can't see all the way up to the top because it kind of flares in. But yeah, so it's bringing us really, really close. We're gonna actually touch the Devil's Tower right here, and it looks like there's steps here. I'm just gonna do a little bit to say I was on it. Yeah. Yeah. So here we are standing on Devil's Tower. Yeah, this part's would be fairly easy to climb. You can pretty much boulder your way up there, but yeah, there's a lot of cracks that you can hold on to. All right. Yeah, that would take me some time. Yeah. But a very, grippy type rock. Wow, that's awesome. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, that is too cool, too cool. Yeah, there's a little bit of a path right here that's worn. So I'm thinking that might be a way up or a way down. So that's probably one of 250 routes to get to the top. Yeah, it's starting to rain right now. And yeah, you can feel it coming down. They've got really good benches all along here. So that's good if you need to sit down. I haven't yet, but they're there if you need them. And plus, it's a great place just to sit and just take in the views. Yeah, they all face the tower, except for a couple of them face the valley. But yeah, I'm blocking the wind by this rock here. But there's some lycanthropin. So you got the green and you also got the grayish. I'm more familiar with the grayish because that's what we have in PA. But look at that greens. And even there's like a goldish colored one. Yeah, I'm Deland. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, look at this big boulder. So what that is, that looks, or it appears to be, one of the columns, broke off and fell. I mean, that's what all of these are right around here, but this is a large sectional one. You can see the end of it here. And if you look up, see that area right in there? It looks like it maybe broke off there and then fell to its demise right here. Wow, that's a big chunk. Yeah. So it's got all those columns and cracks and grooves, and yeah, to me it looks like a giant tree stump. Yeah, there's a whole story behind it. How it was formed, or how they believe it was formed. And then the Native Americans have an interpretation of how they believe, a whole story of it. Okay, that section we were just looking at, that's called the window. You can see it right up there. That's where we were just looking, where I pointed, where you can see that line up there. Looks like a giant window. And when the sun hits it, it appears different because of all the lichen that's on there and things. So the green and orange lichen shades, and it covers that whole area. So they call it the window. That is neat. Yeah, like I said, these storyboards are very, very helpful. So they've got them all over the place. We were questioning about the fires and stuff, and these ponderosa pines, and that's what these pines are here, ponderosa pines. But it shows what a fire scar, a wet year, and what a dry year looks like on the tree. The growth lines. And they can determine that about every 10 to 15 years, a lightning strike ignites a fire. But it says that the fires are really, really good for these areas to prevent catastrophic fire. So about every 10 to 15 years. And you can see all the remnants of one that must have happened, looks like probably about 10 or 15 years ago. Yeah. But it's good for the soil as well. It was talking about on the sign because of the providing oxygen-rich soil and a lot of nutrients for it as well. So we're about halfway around on the trail, and we're gonna just keep walking. There was a sign back there that said halfway. That's how I know. But what a beautiful walk through the boulders and having Devil's Tower right there. And so right there's the tower, and now we're on the trail still, and it's working its way away from the trail, but you can see we're on a descent, and way down there I can see the trail. So if you don't like to walk up hills, when you come out of the parking lot and you're looking at the tower, go right, because that'll put you on a downhill on this side of the tower. Yeah, as I'm coming down this long trail, so we were up there. So definitely, if you don't want to walk uphill, go to the right and circle it counterclockwise, Devil's Tower. But I was just past, and I wish I could have got my camera out in time, a whole like class of National Park Service, I believe, employees that were going up to learn how to do rescues off of Devil's Tower. So they had climbing gear, climbing ropes and stuff. So they were going to go do that. And we had a chance to talk for a couple seconds, but most of them were hoofing it up the hill very fast. So, but if any of you are on here, comment and say hi. It was great meeting y'all. Alrighty, we'll talk to you soon. So some more information here. So the high life. So up on the summit of Devil's Tower, you can see there's a wood rat, Wyoming big sagebrush. There's also chipmunks up there, and also that prickly pear we mentioned about. But right there, that canister, that metal canister, that's the summit. That's the highest point, and that's where you would sign the summit book that you ascended it. Yeah, right there it is. Alrighty. Okay, so if you do go that way, you will have an uphill too. Doesn't look like much, but you do have an uphill both ways. So, depends on which way you want to go. Either go counterclockwise or clockwise. You still got some uphills and downhills. Yep. So I just met John and Shai, and I met Jem earlier from New York City. Alrighty. Hi, everyone. This is really cool. So as you're on the trail going around, there's every once in a while there's a little shoot-off trail, and you can take that path. But I came up here because I wanted to get a shot of this. So there's some birch trees. But this would be called a boulder field. All right, so you can see the boulder field going out along the base of Devil's Tower. Yeah. So again, you can scramble on these boulders, walk on them, just be careful. But you can't go above that line without a permit. Yeah. That's a long way up. All right. So I just talked to Frank, and we're going to head over there here as soon as we get back to the car. We're going to start making our way over to, now where he's at, just to give you an idea, is we're going to stay in the park. The driveway comes off of the park, and it's Devil's Tower Lodge. So that's his facility there. All right. So let's get back to the car. We got a ways to go yet. Well, not a ways, but I keep us stopping. Yeah, I was out of breath that last section. You could tell, right? All right, so right there's that prayers in the wind sign. So we want to make a right-hand turn because we do not want to do this again right now. But the sun is coming out, so it's getting warm. All right, so we just got to make it down this little path, and this is all a descent back to the parking lot. All righty. Perfect timing. Look at the raindrops on the windshield. Yeah, the wind picked up. It's a blowing. Yeah, there's a storm front blowing past. I didn't really check the weather, but it is supposed to rain today. So I'm glad we got done with that. Yeah. Oh, could you imagine if you were going up climbing right now and this would blow in? Yeah. All right. So, not sure Frank's back yet, but we're going to start heading in that direction. Alrighty. Here we go. Yeah, I waited the rain out a little bit, so it just stopped. And it looks like the skies are starting to part again. So they do have a visitor center there. I went into the visitor center real quick because I wanted to get a sticker for Devil's Tower for the cargo box. Yeah, we're going to have to put all these stickers on one of these days soon. Alrighty. So we're gonna head up to Frank's place. So we're gonna turn onto this dirt road here, which is only about maybe 600 yards down from the visitor center. So this is gonna be a nice little ride here. It's a different part of the park, and this should take us up to the lodge. I've never seen it before, but we're going to follow the road out and see where it takes us. Alrighty, so we're at the sign here. It says, "Welcome to Devil's Tower Lodge, friends and guests only." So we are a friend and a guest. Yeah, so we fit both categories. Alrighty. Oh, I can see it out there in the field. Right, we'll soon be there. I'm not sure if Frank's back yet, but he said come on up, and I am very welcome. Alrighty, so here we go. We got a great view of the tower. I'm not gonna swing you over there. You'll see it in a minute. All right. Bed and breakfast wilderness rental. Fitness facility, Devil's Tower Lodge. Yeah, you can find it on Facebook and also on the internet. So I'll get all the information later and put it down in the description. Alrighty, we're here. Look at the wagon wheels and the planters. So cool. Alrighty. So, hey, I found Frank, and I found him in the gym by the rock wall. Okay, everybody say hi to Frank. This is Frank Sanders.
How you doing? It's so good to meet you.
Yes, it is.
Glad to be here with Tony today.
Absolutely, brother.
I've met my brother.
This is amazing. It's been Miss 2.0. You're gonna get to see him too, because Miss 2.0. Just give you a little background. That's how she introduced me to Frank. Lisa started following Frank when she watched a documentary. One of them, I believe it was on maybe YouTube, about you climbing the tower.
Could be.
Yeah, and she's like, we gotta watch this guy, because Lisa and I were really actively trying to pursue climbing. We were doing indoor and we were getting ready to do outdoor, and then the stroke. But I didn't ever think I'd be here. And then Miss 2.0 got a hold of Frank, and then Frank called me, and that's why we're here. So we've already gone to Devil's Tower, and I know I mentioned in there that he started climbing it in 74, but it's not. It was 72. Yeah, so in 1972, and how many times have you climbed it?
I guess the answer is not enough, but if you're looking for a numeric quantity,
yes,
because of the guiding.
Okay.
And because I climbed on the tower every day for a year, for 1 year. It's over 2,000 times.
Over 2,000 times. So
you think I'd get tired of it?
Right? No.
Easily entertained.
Very good. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go ahead and set up. We're going to set up in front of the rock wall. Look at this rock wall. Oh, this is so awesome. Yeah. Frank wants to get me on the rock wall. I don't know if I'll be able to, but we might try. Yep. We can try. That's all we can do. But we're going to grab a seat in front of here, because I want you guys to get to know Frank a little better. All right. Hold on 1 second. I'll bring her back on in a second. All right. So, hey, guys, we're back. And like I said, we wanted to get seated down in front of this wall here. And how many miles do you think you got on that wall, Frank?
Oh, lots. But more important than the miles I have on that wall, this is the place where everybody who climbs with us starts. And here we get your shoes fit, your harness fit, your helmet fit, and we practice some moves. And I'm telling you, thousands of people have done their first climbing moves right here, on the garage wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Because once we go up to the tower, we're not coming home. The shoes are too tight. The shoes are too big.
Oh.
No. That's the way they're going to be.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, that's perfect.
We're here for the day.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I remember from the documentary, and we went on and watched more things. But Frank has this is a whole lodge. Okay, you can actually schedule, and people schedule from all over the world.
Oh yes.
Yeah, all over the world to come here and climb Devil's Tower. In fact, I believe I read up there when I was up there. I didn't mention it earlier, but um, that is the first national monument. Was in 1906.
You're good, dude.
You know a lot about the tower, but it was the President Roosevelt, right?
It was President Roosevelt. And ironically, President Roosevelt never saw the tower.
He never saw
No,
it.
he was over in the Black Hills,
Oh,
okay, where Rushmore is now,
yeah.
but he never saw the tower. I don't know what political issue was that
Yeah.
made this.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and actually it's a monument, and it's postage stamp. We're not even 2 square miles.
Wow, and it said on the board, it said the very first national monument is Devil's Tower. Now it was called something different before Devil's Tower. Well, by the tribes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Frank told me the story earlier. I
Some
thought was
called
good.
it Bear's Lodge. Other tribes called it Tree Rock because it was like a stump. You know. So everybody's got their own name, and I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be indigenous for this to be a special place.
Yeah.
I believe Devil's Tower is sacred to many people,
Mm.
not just the Sioux, not just the Crow,
Mm.
not just the Assiniboine. Okay,
Mm. Mm.
even Paleface can find
Mhm. Yeah.
magic and power in the tower.
Well, I tell you, my hike around it, which I made the whole mile and a half, which is awesome. But they have that nice trail through there, and it was just when you guys saw when I went up and I actually touched it and stood on it, it felt so good. It really, really did. It felt like I achieved something, even though I just touched it. Right? I felt as though I achieved something because I did exert energy to get to it, but to think back, that thing's been here a long time, and it just raises up out of the ground like that. You know, it's just there. And I was joking around. I said I was going to do my intro like dun dun dun, do all the tunes and stuff, all that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad you didn't.
I'm glad I didn't as well. I said, no, I better not. But, so tell us about the first time you ever came out to climb.
It was one of those major undertakings in life. I grew up East Coast. You're Pennsylvania. I was
Yeah.
Maryland. And I climbed up and down the East Coast, but never west of the Mississippi. And so this was a big undertaking. And my partner, John had already dropped out of college, had a job, had money, so he flew out.
Oh,
I was going to school in Tennessee, so I rode my thumb
okay.
out here, June of '72, right after the Rapid City flood. But I didn't even know that Rapid City had flooded until I got here.
Mm.
So that was the gig. And I guess of note, we had agreed, just picked a spot on the map to meet at.
Yeah.
And it was a little town in the middle of nowhere called Moorcroft,
Oh.
30 miles from the tower. And because of the delays with the flood, my hitchhiking beat John's airplane
Oh.
here. So
Okay.
I got to Moorcroft early. And the first night I ever spent in Wyoming was in Moorcroft, Wyoming. And I spent that night in the Moorcroft jail.
Really?
Vagrancy.
Oh.
Vagrancy. they
Okay.
said. I said, I don't have money for a room.
Right.
I think the sheriff was looking after me because the cowboys were giving hippies haircuts with razor blades
Oh, okay.
at the time, but I ended up
Got
in the
it.
jail for the night.
Okay.
And in my own defense, I need to tell you, 4 years later, I was teaching school in Moorcroft.
Really?
Okay, so
Yeah.
there was made amends.
Good.
Moorcroft still has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, right. Well, first night, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so then your partner came out, and then how did you guys pick a route to go up?
There is every crack on the tower. 210 cracks. Each one is potentially a different route.
Oh.
There is one
Yeah.
that, even though it's not easy, it's the most moderate route and the most frequently climbed route
Okay.
of any of the ones there.
Wow.
The infamous Durance route, named after Dr. Jack Durance, who was the first one to climb the route.
Right.
Okay. So even then, it's still a hard and challenging route today.
Absolutely. Is that where they had that little eyepiece where you could look up to see where that ladder was up there?
It's to the left of the ladder.
To the left of the ladder.
Yep.
And I didn't show you guys that, but there's a little eyepiece you can look to see where they had climbed.
Some ranchers in 1893, I believe it was, Rogers and Ripley, felt that there should be a way to get on top.
Yeah.
So they picked a crack about yay wide, and they whittled fence posts and pounded them in with a sledgehammer.
Really?
And constructed a ladder. They tied the outside of the fence posts together, so one is supported by the ones above it. I mean, not an engineering miracle.
Right.
Some thought about what happens if one pulls out.
Right.
Well, rather than the answer being you die.
Right.
It's got some support.
Right. Right.
And so they did that. That's an interesting story in itself, really.
Yeah.
But they ascended the ladder on the 4th of July.
Okay.
Amidst a crowd. It was really quite the attraction.
Yeah.
People came from Rapid City, which is 100 miles away. There were no cars.
Oh.
And it involved fording the Belfouche River multiple times.
Oh.
And hundreds of people came for that 4th of July.
And that was like in 1880...
1893, I
93, 1893. So that was the first that someone had ascended it. Wow. And then, I mean, today, there's, you've been up there multiple times, over 2,000 times. And it's, I hope to do it one day. One day, Lisa and I, Miss 2.0 and I would do it. That would be so awesome. Yeah. But beautiful. So tell me about the lodge. When did that really take place?
Tony.
Yes.
I have been blessed in my life. I've been climbing since I was 15, and I must admit to you, the first time I climbed, it just scared the bejeepers out of me. And I didn't try it again for a year.
Really?
I would go with the high school club and watch.
Yeah.
And no close calls, no accidents.
Right.
Everything was safe. Everybody was smiling except for me.
Wow.
And I knew there was this threshold that I needed to cross over to get on the smiling side.
Yeah.
And once I did that, it's occupied me for the rest of my life.
Wow.
So, yes, I have been able to travel and be mobile and climb all over our country and Canada and Mexico.
Wow.
But then I got to my late 40s and time to retire, and where do I want to retire to? Well, out of all those climbing places, there were some special ones.
Yeah.
The domes in North Carolina.
Mm.
The sandstone cracks outside of Moab.
Oh.
And so on. But Devil's Tower was always a special place. I've made several trips out here. I spent significant time in the area, to be quite honest. But I didn't have any dreams of finding land that's for sale. All of the ranches here, they're large. I mean, one here is 50,000 acres around me, but typically 25,000. But nobody's going to sell that land because it's been in the family since the original land grants in 1881 and 82.
Oh, wow.
So, I might get to marry somebody's daughter, but they never give up the land.
Right, right.
And what I thought was a random phone call to friends back here. I was not living in
Random
Wyoming at the time.
I like random.
No, it wasn't random.
No, random.
Hand to God.
Yeah, oh yes,
And
very.
The other fellow on the phone says, "Hey, Robinson's, there's someone their place." And I said, "That's not even funny.
No.
Don't be messing with me." Oh no. So I called up Robinson's and we just streamlined. It took 8 months to work the real estate deal.
Wow.
From February, March of '99 until November 1st. And right smack in the middle of that time, June of 99, to be very specific, June 22nd of 99, I admitted to myself finally that I had some other problems. And I drove myself to rehab. And I've been clean and sober since. People ask, is the tower your higher power? And I have to say no. But it is an influencer.
Right.
It is
right.
this monument of, I've been brought here for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how the thing happened.
So this location, I noticed, because I didn't go out the entrance to Devil's Tower, the national park. We're in the national park. No?
You drove through the national park and out.
Oh,
so
no.
we are on the north side of the park. We are tangential. We are tangential to the park boundary, but we're outside the park.
Really?
But the only access to this property is
through the park. Ah, there we go.
That's another can of worms. But
that's another can of worms. But it makes it very convenient, like as a place to stay, a lodge. I mean, I'll show you guys later, just the windows, the view that you see the tower right there. I mean, it's right there. And you've seen it for a lot of years, right there.
it is.
And yeah. And so we're in the gym, which is right down from the house, because they take clients and bring them here. Like Frank said, they've never maybe put shoes on before. You know, some limited, they've never been on a wall before. Yeah. So you've had a whole host of people that. Is there anybody that you've had that that they didn't think they were going to be able to do it, and you've encouraged them to get to the top?
I think the entire demographic of people that come here don't know if they're going to make it or not, but they're here to challenge. Briefly,
Yes.
I remember telling my swim coach years before, I'm going to nursing school. And he said, yeah, but you're going to be working with sick people. And I said, well, no shit, Sherlock. What do you,
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
And he motions to the pool right behind me where there's a dozen people just slamming the shit out of the water.
Yeah.
And Coach Ross says, Frank, I'd rather work with well people. And here, people who come to climb are very well people. They're trying to press their bounds and push and see how far can I get?
Yeah.
And very few people come here with an explanation point. They come here with a question mark. Let's see if I can do it.
Yeah.
Let's see what's involved here.
Yeah.
But the bottom line to me is they're all well people.
Right.
Or people looking to be more well.
Be more well.
So, yeah, and every person I know, this is kind of like rule from even before day one.
Yeah.
Anyone who comes as a client, it wasn't random. It wasn't by chance.
Right.
It wasn't by serendipity.
Right.
It's because it was meant to be.
Right.
There was some divine guidance
Right.
in that life. And that helps me treat everybody who comes here, whether they've got all of their limbs or they're lacking a leg or an arm or they're hemiplegic, whatever. They're here for a reason.
Right.
And they're here for you to take care of them, Frank, and do your best.
Right.
So that's easy. There's no question mark of, who is this and what am I going to do?
Right. Right.
I know who this is.
Yeah.
This is a soul who's working
Yeah.
on themselves,
Yes.
seeking direction.
Yeah. And you've had people on the wall that were like, I can't go any further, but then you encouraged them to get up to the top.
Sure.
Yeah. That's probably a lot of climbs, right?
Sit down, take a look, see how far we've come.
Yeah.
It's not that far to the top.
Right?
When you look down, it looks like it's a long
It
way. When you
does
look at the
look
top, it looks short. So
Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah. I was at
That
the
works for you.
yeah, I was at the because I went to the right of Devil's Tower, and I came to that first vista where you look out over the valley,
Yes.
And I held up. You guys remember this? It was in the video a little bit ago. And I held it up. I said, "All right, guys, I made it to the top." Because I didn't know it was still that much further down from that point. And I go, "No, I'm just kidding." And then I swing it around. We just see like the boulders at the bottom. And then I scan up, and it's way up there. Yeah, 860 some feet, or yeah,
A good number. If you measure from the bottom of the creek
yeah,
to the top of the tower, it's 1,200 something.
yeah.
But half of that's hiking. Usually 600 feet is a good number. A little longer on the north end, a little shorter but steeper on the west side.
Okay.
And if anybody's been to Washington, D.C., the Washington Monument is 550 feet tall.
Yes, I saw that little plaque there.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Yeah, I was reading.
I don't know if you've been to Washington, but that's where I grew up. So that's something I can stand up and say, wow, yeah, that's on up there.
Yeah, yeah, and not too many cracks in the Washington Monument to climb. Okay, yeah. No, yeah.
That'll be our secret.
There you go. Right? But so, most of you may not know, but these are different ways to scale and to practice and climb. There's climbing gyms where you can go to do it indoors, and sometimes just bouldering with no ropes. But you're doing pretty much taking everybody up with ropes because you've got to do.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Everybody's roped in. Fact is, you climb with us, you are the puppet on our string.
There you go. There you go.
Make you dance.
Right.
Let me down. No.
No.
Just take a second.
We got to go down, but we're going to go down on the other side, right? Yeah. Yeah. So you're very familiar with the canister at the top. And so that's where I showed you that picture where people sign that once they ascend it and stuff. And do they keep record of that? Like this? No.
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't know if you looked for your signature somewhere and you could see it. Yeah.
Generally not.
Not.
The Park Service didn't put the canister up there.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh.
No. That canister predates me.
Oh, wow.
As a matter of fact, there was once a sign down at the base of the boulders at the base of the tower that says, "No climbing above this point."
Yes.
And of course, before I got here, somewhere in the 60s, some enterprising climbers put that sign in their backpack and hauled it to the top of the tower.
Oh.
And then numerous people have had their pictures taken sitting, standing, doing handstands on "no climbing above this point."
Because there is
top of the tower. And for the record, eventually termites ate it.
Oh, really?
The post is still there. That was treated wood. The sign was redwood, cedar, something, but it got eaten.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would have been a neat thing to have there.
Well, maybe somebody modern day might have put up a sign like
Okay.
that last season, but I don't know much about it.
There you go. So if anybody's interested in coming and climbing, they have staff here that will take you. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Nothing but the best.
Yeah.
Come and just live in the shadow of the tower. If you want to try climbing, we're not going to make the top the first day, but how many people have climbed 100 feet? And that's readily arrangeable. And as Tony doesn't know yet, but as soon as it quits raining, we're going to go leave the paved trail and walk up to the north end to where we can lay our hands on the cracks. And it's just a nice walk through the woods. And even to bed and breakfast guests, people with no intention of climbing, we have a map we hand out that shows them how to leave the paved trail, walk through the woods, and just up a nice little hiking trail. And there at the base of the north face, you're above the trees. And actually, the view from there is not that much different as it is from the top of the tower.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And while we're there, I'll pursue. Many people say, wow, when you're on top of the tower and you're looking out, isn't that view amazing? I usually respond saying, yes, when you're on top of the tower and you're looking out, the view is amazing. But I believe the much more interesting view is when I'm still on the side of the tower, climbing up, and I'm looking in. Oh, yeah. That view can change like that. The view from the top looking out is rather static. The view from the side climbing up and looking into your heart and into your mind, that's not static. That's a very dynamic and changing image all the time, and I'm much more entertained by that.
Wow.
Actually, if we've done our training correctly and we conduct ourselves properly, getting to the top is a disappointment because you can't climb anymore. The roller coaster has come back into the station. The merry-go-round has quit going around. It's over. But that's up for you to determine. So come on out and form your own opinions. Don't listen to me. I'm biased.
Right.
I'm jaded.
Right. Well, I know we have a T-shirt that it's got your motto on it.
Yes.
Yeah. And what is the motto? I'll put a picture of that up here.
Blessed are those who live out their dreams. Whatever your dream is. Maybe your dream's not climbing. Who knows? I think Tony's dream here is recovering from a stroke. And he's done amazing things. And that's capital A, amazing, not amazing. It's amazing. And he's still got a ways to go, and he knows it, and he works at it all the time. Yeah, this man is living out his dreams and pressing his bounds and finding out what's over the next fence, what's over the next hill, what's over the next obstacle. He's doing it very actively. He's an inspiration. If you haven't figured that out yet, but you're watching, so you know.
Well, thank you, Frank. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.
No. Yeah, and you guys are gonna see, they do it because bread and breakfast, but you have a table. I saw it because I've seen it on the Facebook thing, but I saw it in real life. There's a table that sits how many?
24.
24 people can sit at a table, and they encourage that. So when the guests come, you eat a meal together.
Yeah, bed and breakfast, but we serve dinner too. And the end of that dining hall is all glass, and you're looking at the tower. So I sit at that end of the table with my back to the tower, and I pretend everybody's looking at me.
Right, you are the tower.
They're looking at the tower.
Right. Frank, could you move that way just a little bit? Like, pass me the salt.
Yes.
All right.
I'm bad.
Well, we're going to continue this, and I'll bring you guys on at different times and show you around a little bit more, but this is the gym. Yeah, really cool. This is awesome, Frank. Really is.
This is the first difference we made when I bought the place.
Yes. He said it was just
not
an
a
old
garage.
Yeah, it was an old garage. And they've added on to it and stuff. Yeah. Cool. All right. We'll see you in a bit. Talk to you later. Alrighty. So, hey, so we were down at the gym. We came up to the lodge, and man, it just started pouring. It poured so hard. It was coming down in sheets, hail and everything. The wind was blowing. And so Frank and I got in here to the lodge, and we were just hanging out and talking. And I'll put a picture of that big window. So we were in the dining area, that table that seats 24, and this is the window that we were looking out and seeing Devil's Tower. But you could see the pines just blowing, and it was coming down. So we just hunkered down in here and sat and fellowship and talked, and I got to know Frank even more. I'll tell you what, this guy is very inspiring, very, very inspiring, and encouraging, and very, very down to earth. And I'll tell you what, I really enjoy spending time with Frank. And if you ever get a chance to spend time with him, come up to the lodge and maybe book a one-nighter and just check out Devil's Tower. You're right here, right next to it, very, very close. You can walk to it. In fact, some people do. They walk back and forth when they stay here. But Right now, it's closed. Their season is May 1st to the end of September, but it's closed right now. And it was getting late. And yeah, and I want to spend more time with Frank, and he invited me to do a couple things tomorrow. So I'm going to do that. And unbeknownst to me, I was going to sleep in the car, and he set me up in the green room. And if you want to see any of the rooms at the lodge, you can check it out on Devil's Tower Lodge on the internet. Go to their website, check it out, and you can see all the rooms and stuff. But I'm in the green room. I love green. I wear green, so I really like green. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. I'll probably, maybe I'll make a video of our adventures tomorrow. I'll see. All right. Well, it's getting late, and I got to hit the hay. All right. So you have an awesome week, and remember, oh, wait, I didn't cue the music. Cue the music. There it is. All right. So remember, it's just one adventure at a time. Get out and have a great adventure yourself. And if you can't, follow mine. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and it's say goodnight. So it's Tony 2.0 out. Good night. You have an awesome week, and we'll see you on the next random adventure. All right. Good night. See ya.